everyone, and welcome to the second episode of Booking It. Now, I had planned on doing this episode on Samantha Learns a Lesson, but I ended up doing it on another book. It is by Karen Kingbury, and it's called Unlocked, and it is about a boy named Holden who has autism. Now, there are questions in the back of the book about, reading reflection questions. So, the first question is, what did you learn about autism by reading Unlocked? And I learned that autism is just, you're trapped inside yourself, and it's hard for other people to explain, but to think that you couldn't interact with anything outside because you're trapped inside yourself, I think that's a really scary thing, and we need to be really compassionate and try to help those people, and that's one thing I've learned. And another part of that question is, do you think Holden suffered with autism? I think he did, because I think partly yes and partly no. The yes part is because he missed out on all the little experiences of childhood, of getting to run in the park and going to movies with friends. And, I'm not a boy, but I know boys spend the night at each other's house sometimes, having those little parties with your guy friends and race car driving and all this kind of stuff, and playing baseball, playing basketball, whatever it is you would do. And no, because he was so close with God, and it's such a great thing, and I don't know, if he hadn't had autism, he might not have got that, so I guess it's just a 50-50 kind of thing. So number 8. Michael Schwartz was a quiet kid who didn't fit in the way the popular kids did. Do you know any kids like Michael in high school? I do. And it says, did you befriend them? Well, I'm still in high school, freshman. Whoop, whoop. I've been learning as I've been going on this year, and I've been seeing it in myself and others. There's been new kids come in, and you always say, oh, I'm nice to people, but then when it gets down to it, you might say, oh, I'm not really, because I've been in situations where there's been someone new sit down or try to talk to me, and if I'm with my friends, I'm a really big extroverted person, but if it's with someone new and I'm just by myself, I can be a very big introvert, and I don't know. It's just hard, and I've got to learn to get over that barrier, and I've got to be nicer to people, and you can't judge people by what's on the outside, but what's on the inside, because there could be a great person lying in there, and you've just got to get to know them. So you've just got to try your hardest, and that's something I'm struggling with, and I think a lot of people do, and I've just got to get you guys to pray for me, and I've got to pray for me, and just hope I can get over that. Alright. Holden's mother compared autism to kidnapping, since she felt like her son had been stolen from her. What did you like about Tracy's character? I like that even though she went through hard times, and even though it would be hard for her, she would doubt sometimes, she would always come back to God, and she knew that He was the only way that was going to get her, and I felt like I connect with her, because if you had felt like you were getting to know your son, and then he was 3, and then he just kind of went away, I would feel like in the same position she would, like he's not there anymore, but she still loved him and she tried her hardest and she didn't give up on him, and that's what I liked about Tracy. Have you ever lost someone you love? I have lost someone I love. My grandfather died when I was in 7th grade 2 years ago, and it was very hard, and I still struggle with it sometimes. There's nights when I really cry about it, and it's one of those emotional things, like someone who's been with you, like I said, from that long time, and then they're gone, and it's really hard to get over, and he was always a big part of my life, and I'm sorry, it's really hard for me to talk about this without getting emotional, but it's really hard. I don't think I'll ever get over it, and I don't think you should be able to get over it. They should always be there. You've just got to learn to deal with it. And then, what helped you during that time? My relationship with God really strengthened. God is just always there. He's always going to be there, and He's the only one that will always be there. So you've just got to rely on that. Number 17. Manny Hopkins was a beleaguered drama teacher on his last chance at being a success. Explain the transformation that happened in his life because of Ella and Holden. The teacher, he was very unchristianly, and he had had a bad experience with God before, and then once he saw how Ella and Holden could come together and it could open up this kid who wouldn't talk, it really changed him, and he knew that God can make miracles. Holden found a great significance in watching movies from his past. What old home movie scenes or special memories do you sometimes revisit to remember who you are? When I was in 5th grade, a friend of mine, we always have those Valentine's boxes where you put them out in the hallway, and people put like little Valentines in them, and you come back in and you get all excited about all your little Valentines. And so I remember I went through all the candy ones, and then there was one at the bottom, and it was this little Pez dispenser, and it said I love you, and I got so excited because I was like, oh my god, it said from your secret admirer. So I was so excited, and then I found out who it was. And then I went to middle school a year later, and his mom worked at the middle school, and I was talking to her about it one day, and she told me he's told her that the reason he liked me was because I was kind to everyone and nice. And it really showed me that people do watch your experiences and what you go through and how you interact with people, and that really made me feel good about myself. Did Holden's story give you hope for your own life or make you feel hopeful for someone you love? Did it affect your level of faith? Explain. I think it did affect my level of faith, because I learned that if someone is in that bad a position, because I guess he was in a good position from his aspect of being with God, like, why can't I? And I've got good things going for me. I need to be closer to God. And it did give me hope that if someone's in a bad situation, you can come out of that situation, and you've just got to be kind to others. And that's basically one thing I've learned. You just got to be kind. And if you had to write the next chapter in Holden's life, what would happen? What would you hope for people with autism in our culture today, and how can you help? I think what I would do, I'd make it where Holden finally got to the position, but me just being a romantic, where he was comfortable enough with Ella and he could start speaking to others and talking, and then maybe even start dating Ella. That's just the girly girl romanticism coming out in me. And I just hope that people can become more aware of autism, that it's not like this horrible thing. It's just you're trapped inside yourself, and we don't need to judge others. We just need to help them. And I just hope we can all become more aware. So this is Unlocked by Karen Kingbury. I hope you all go out and read this book. I hope you all just enjoyed this. I hope you learned something, and thanks for watching. Bye. I just read the book over once, and then I studied it on the way there. And I don't know how it is in other states, but in Georgia, you can miss 5 questions on both tests.